Welcome back to the garage, and it's time for another token teardown. Today we're rolling SUI, ticker SUI, into the bay. We're going to find out if this is a podium-ready supercar or just a shiny kit car in Ferrari paint hiding an old Pontiac Fiero engine under the hood. If you're new here, this is where we take your favorite crypto project, put it on the lift, and check every nut, bolt, and bearing. Smash that like, hit that follow. We're building this channel one subscriber at a time. Here's the pit crew, the guys who built this machine. They came out of the Meta garage, Facebook's elite blockchain unit. Mark Zuckerberg himself greenlit when he set out to build Libra, later Diem. This was Zuck's billion-dollar shot at a global digital currency, and he stacked the roster with engineers who knew how to build at scale. The car was ready to run. Big sponsors like Visa, MasterCard, PayPal were lined up. And then the politicians threw the red flag. Hearings, headlines, pressure from all sides. The sponsors pulled out, and even after a rebrand and pivot to a US dollar peg, the regulators kept it parked. Race over. But the crew didn't quit. They walked out together, carrying the Move programming language they'd built, their blueprints, and a mission to build their own track where nobody could wave them off the start line. Evan Chang is the master fabricator, can push an engine to redline all day. Sam Blackshear is the gearbox architect, creator of Move, the precision transmission that keeps SUI's shifts clean. Adeniyi Abiodun is the race strategist, the one on the pit wall matching performance to track conditions. George Dinezes is the safety inspector from Microsoft Research, builds the roll cage and crash protection. Kostas Chalkias is the electronics wizard, wiring and telemetry expert who keeps every system firing perfectly. From the wreckage of Diem, SUI was born. SUI is a Layer-1. The base track every car on it must drive. Think Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. They set the race rules. Layer 2s are like private toll lanes above them, faster for some, but still bound to the L1's pavement. SUI, it's fresh asphalt, custom corners, built from scratch. Under the hood, Move is the in-house transmission, engineered to prevent the blowouts that plague other chains. The chassis is an object-centric data model where every asset is its own car. If they're not interacting, they run in parallel. True multi-lane racing. In 2024, the Mysticity Consensus upgrade bolted in turbo power, cutting finality to around 400 milliseconds, as fast as Solana's top laps, but with traction control under heavy load. The pit infrastructure is all there. Open source SDKs, APIs, the SUI Explorer, and safety systems that make sure no two drivers grab the same wheel mid-lap. The fuel tank holds 10 billion tokens, max supply. About 35% is circulating, the rest coming out in monthly unlocks. If demand isn't there, it's like flooding the track with rookie drivers. The token fuels gas fees, staking, and governance. Fee burns quietly, siphon a little fuel permanently, tightening torque over time. SUI isn't just sitting in the paddock, it's logging laps every day. Cetus is the flagship DEX with deep liquidity. Suilend and Turbos Finance push lending and perpetuals. DeepBook handles central limit orders. In NFTs, collections like Fuddies and markets like Blue Move drive community trades. In gaming, Birds hit over 1.3 million players. Gamify blends fantasy sports with DeFi for over 2.4 million users. Fishing Star brought 77,000 plus players to Web3 fishing tournaments. Titles like Exociety and Dark Times are coming up fast. ZK Login lets new users sign in with Google or Facebook. Sponsored transactions mean they don't even need gas at first. And when Phantom Wallet integrated SUI, millions of Solana veterans suddenly had a lane open on this track. Line up the competition and you've got Solana, exotic supercar with explosive speed, but a history of stalling. Avalanche, the rally racer with agile subnets, but each needing its own pit crew. Aptos, the sibling rival from the DM days with a different drivetrain. Polygon, endurance champ with a massive fan base. Near, smooth hybrid, efficient, but not the fastest. And Cardano, precision build still fine-tuning for peak performance. The green lights flash, SUI and Solana leap ahead. Avalanche eats the technical corners, Aptos tucks in for the draft, Polygon plays for long mileage, Near and Cardano keep consistent laps. Before we head to the final lap, let's talk about the stands and the pit lane. Memes and AI agents are bringing life to this place. Memes like Suirum, Sudeng the Hippo, and Fud the Pug have built rabid communities and pulled real volume. Sudeng hit a $160 million market cap. Suirum sold tens of thousands of SUI in presale. SUI's low fees and instant settlement make it a meme coin paradise. AI agents are the digital pit crew. Agent S dropping NFT rewards, Dolphin Agent piping live analytics into DeFi dashboards, Way.ai, and AI SUI letting anyone spin up no-code agents to run research, manage socials, or act as game NPCs. They're the 24/7 mechanics keeping the team in the race. And now Lulu, our chief of technical analysis here in the garage, yes, a pig with 4 hoofs, a curly tail, and an uncanny eye for the charts, has run the numbers for the $20 trillion total market. In cruise control, holding its current 0.4% market share, SUI comes in at an $80 billion market cap, about $8 a token, doubling from here without pushing the engine. Kick in the nitrous and grab 1% share, that's $200 billion, around $20 a token, a 5 times return, and we're looking at champagne on the podium. Go full moonshot, hold 3% share, and you're talking $600 billion, $60 a token, 15 times return, and drafting right behind Ethereum and Solana into the history books. But here in the garage, we don't just spray hopium, we show both sides of the race. The Black Swan scenario, imagine a major exploit that shakes confidence, or a cascade of token unlocks hitting during a market downturn, or a sudden regulatory clampdown on staking in key jurisdictions. That's the equivalent of losing your gearbox mid-lap. You don't get to just pull over and swap it. You're coasting, watching the pack screen past, and some may never come back. It's a reminder that in racing and in crypto, nothing is guaranteed. So here's the garage score. Tech stack gets a 9. It's cutting edge, but still needs to prove itself in all weather. Team is an 8. Championship pedigree, but centralized decision-making risk. Tokenomics lands a 6. Solid, but those unlocks are a risk factor. Product delivery is an 8. Steady upgrades, but still waiting on that killer dApp that brings in the next wave. Community horsepower is a 7. Growing, but not yet rabid. Narrative RPM is an 8. Perfect market timing, but missing that viral cultural spark. Regulatory build code is a 5. Clean so far, but the US base keeps it under the steward's eyes. Adoption mileage is a 7. Gaining traction, some of it farm-driven. Alpha potential is an 8. Clean execution could mean a podium season. Final dyno score, 7.4 out of 10. Tuned, competitive, and worth keeping an eye on all year. If there's another project you want to see on the lift, drop it in the comments. Smash that like, hit follow, and check out gurucryptogarage.guru, our work in progress. And as always, let it rip.